Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 1 of This is a Woman podcast. I'm Sophia Lorey, and I am the host of this podcast. And I just wanted to start off episode 1 telling you guys a little bit about myself and why I'm starting this podcast. So, like I said, my name's Sophia. I am in my early 20s. I recently graduated college, and I'm in my first official, as people like to say, big girl job after doing internships and lots of small little jobs throughout college. And I work for a nonprofit. It's a nonpartisan organization based off of fighting for biblical values at the Capitol in Sacramento. And so being here in Sacramento and being in my early 20s and being on social media and just seeing what's going on in culture, I just felt like God was really calling and putting on my heart to start something to talk about how amazing it is to be a woman. I think nowadays we're seeing people can't even tell you what a woman is. People aren't even sure the biological differences between a male and female. Everyone thinks that anyone can be a woman at this point, is what you're seeing on social media, what people are saying at school, what you're seeing even here at the state capitol. And that really breaks my heart because growing up, there was a lot of male figures in my life that I looked up to, but there was especially a lot of female figures in my life that I really looked up to, whether they were my age, whether they were older, even some that were younger. And I think it's a beautiful thing to be able to lean on each other as women. And times is there's things we go through as females that men don't go through and men don't understand, and vice versa. And this podcast is not at all to put down men or say women are better than men or men are better than women. I think we have beautiful different roles in society, biologically. There's lots of differences, but I think we've forgotten that, and current society has really let that go. And I want there to be a place for girls, whether they're in high school or junior high, whether you're in your 20s, or even moms and grandmas, to be able to come to a place where you can hear amazing testimonies and stories and life lessons from different women, because it's a powerful thing to be able to share that with each other and mentor each other and walk through life with each other. But it's becoming impossible to do when you go online. If you search what is a woman, there's not just a simple plain answer, which again makes no sense because myself being a Christian, the Bible is very clear that there's differences between a male and a female and that there are two genders and two genders only. Scientifically, it is also clear, and biologically and just logically, but it seems like all logic has gone out the door. So ultimately, I'm starting This is a Woman podcast because women are currently being erased in culture, and I want to amplify their voices and share their stories. So go ahead and join along. We will be posting new podcasts every Monday morning, but you can follow along on our social media. It's all under This is a Woman podcast on Instagram, Facebook. You can watch the podcast on our YouTube channel, or you can tune in, as some of you may be now, on your podcast platform of choice. But so I didn't want to sit here and just tell you all about women being erased or culture trying to ignore and deny the reality of what a woman is. I kind of wanted to walk through with you all some examples that are honestly, it mocks what a woman is, or it's not truthful or honest about what a woman is. And so I want to walk through you guys and kind of show you how many more examples of this we're seeing now than we were just a couple years ago. So the first kind of example I remember of things like this, and you'll all be familiar with this, is in 2015, Bruce Jenner, a male who thinks he is a female, he won Glamour Woman of the Year, taking away a role and a position from a real female. And again, that's what we're seeing more and more every day in society. We're seeing women being stripped of their roles or stripped of opportunities by males who are pretending to be females. The next one we have is in 2021, a male Nevada pageant winner beat out 21 females to become a Miss USA contestant. And this was celebrated. But if you're a feminist, if you're a woman, you should be more than offended. This shouldn't be happening. This man completely took a role and a spot from females that have worked hard for this because he wants to identify and pretend to be a female. Next, we have in 2022, you guys should all remember or know of this story. Leah Thomas in the NCAA was awarded first in the national championship tournament for swimming. Leah Thomas is a man who has identified as a man most of his life and then decided he thinks he's a female so he could compete with the females. And most of you have probably heard a lot about Riley Gaines lately in the news and on social media. Well, Riley Gaines and Leah Thomas actually tied for first in the competition. But because there was only one first place trophy, it was given to Leah Thomas. Again, another example of a man identifying as a female, taking away a winning position from a female. And now you have the second and third place person, and the fourth and fifth place people, they're not even getting trophies. They're not even on the stand because it was taken away by a man. And there should have been, and there was an uproar, but you didn't see the feminists coming up against this, and we need to see more people defending women. And then we saw in 2023, First Lady Jill Biden, she actually gave an International Women of Courage Award to a man who identifies as a woman, ultimately diminishing women by honoring a biological man on International Women's Day. And if you're telling me you can't find one strong, amazing woman to give this courage award to, and you instead have to give it to a man, interesting. Then we have in March of this year, 2023, California legislators were offended by the fact that I said, it was me testifying that I said men can't menstruate. And again, this goes down to this is a biological difference between males and females. And they want to try to convince you, and they want to try to change language in order to make it seem like men can menstruate. Yet, no man will fully ever understand what we as females go through. No man is going to be able to walk or comfort or teach his young daughter about the changes in her body and the menstrual cycle, as well as a mom or older sister, aunt, someone, an older woman in her life is going to be able to teach her and explain to her and tell her it's okay that you might have a day where you're a little emotional. It's okay if your stomach hurts a little bit, and maybe it's hurting too much. Let's figure this out. Let's make sure everything's going right with your menstrual cycle. And men don't experience that. Men don't know that, yet our legislators here in California are actually offended by that statement. And then we've seen just this week, actually, there was a man or a woman. So this woman is pregnant, but she identifies like a man, and she kind of looks like a man. If you're watching on YouTube, you can actually see the images here. So this woman is pregnant, and she was put on the cover of Glamour UK saying trans, pregnant, and proud, making it look like it's a pregnant man. But it's not. It's a woman who thinks she might be a man, and this is just as offensive and disrespectful to females as the opposite way, because men can't get pregnant. It's biologically a fact. It's biblically a fact. And it's a beautiful thing that women can get pregnant and that they can be mothers. And most women just naturally have that mother and like caring personality to them. And now we're sitting here and saying, oh, men can get pregnant, or at least trying to post things that look like that. Interesting. And then as many as you know, we have Dylan Mulvaney, who got lots of money for being on a Bud Light beer can and has now been taking up other roles. And the issue with this is not only is he confusing little girls or confusing young children on, oh, you can be whatever you want, because you can't, but he is taking away job opportunities from females. This could have been a real woman on this beer can or whatever the different things he's doing and advertising for. And a lot of people in culture don't seem to be upset by the fact that we're just letting men take away roles from women when they're pretending to be women. And another one that's super interesting and most of you are probably familiar with is in 2022, a Supreme Court nominee, Jackson, she could not define what a woman is because she's, in quote, not a biologist. So I'm going to show you all this video. If you're listening, you'll still be able to hear it. But if you want to see the video, you can go on YouTube and watch it.
You provide a definition for the word woman.
Can I provide a definition? No,
Yeah,
I can't.
you can't?
Not in
Okay.
this context.
So you
I'm not
believe
a
the
biologist.
meaning of the word woman is so unclear and controversial that you can't give me a definition?
Senator, in my work as a judge, what I do is I address disputes. If there's a dispute about a definition, people make arguments, and I look at the
All right.
law and I decide. So I'm not.
The fact that you can't give me a straight answer about something as fundamental as what a woman is underscores the dangers of the kind of progressive education that we are hearing about.
So not even a Supreme Court nominee, someone who's supposed to be extremely intelligent, extremely knowledgeable, and is supposed to stick to truth, wasn't even able to say what a woman is. And so ultimately, just by showing you guys those couple examples, because there is a lot more, those are just some of the more well-known ones, it's so evidently clear that culture is, we're living in a delusion to try to think that anyone can be a woman. And again, as I stated in the beginning of this, my goal is just to really share stories of women. I think there's so many amazing women out there. I have so many ladies who have mentored me throughout my life. I have so many friends. I have friends that are going to medical school, going to dental school, amazing teachers, just doing all these amazing things. And yet society's trying to confuse the younger generation and even confuse kind of my generation. And it's harmful. And again, it's a beautiful thing to come together and walk through life in fellowship with women. But how are we supposed to do that if anyone can just be a woman? So this episode, I'm just trying to keep it short and sweet, but I want to end with God, he created us in his image. The Genesis 1:27 says, God created man in his own image. Male and female, he created them. And so from the Christian side of this, if we can't stand up for the first chapter of the Bible, if we can't understand and get right the first chapter of the Bible, we're lost. What's going on? What can we stand for and get right based off of biblical truth? So that's the Christian side of this. But science and biology also makes it so clear that there is a difference between males and females. So what I'm saying here, none of this should be a controversial or offensive take because it's truth and it's reality. But unfortunately, we're now in a society where it is. And I might not be able to change everyone's minds that that's the truth. I might not be able to all of a sudden make people stop being confused that there's only two genders. But my goal here is ultimately to have a place for, like I said, for girls, for young teens, for 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, grandmas, moms, and obviously boys, if you're tuning in, go ahead, and we appreciate and love that you're here as well. But a place where you can come and just hear from these amazing women. I'm going to have some women on here that are business owners. I'm going to have some that are working in politics. I hope to have some that are teachers on here. I want some that have gone through maybe things such as eating disorders or sexual abuse, and to walk you through how they've gotten over that and how they've overcome those things. And so I hope you all just keep tuning in. Like I said, we're going to have a new episode hopefully every Monday morning. Each episode after this, I plan to have a guest on where I want them to share their stories with you and share how they got to where they are in life, share different ways you can also get to those points if you're trying to become a teacher, if you're struggling with an eating disorder and need to get through it. So I'm hoping to have all these women on, and so we can all just have a place where we can come together, learn together, fellowship together, and grow together in truth, because it's not out there and it's not easy to find, unfortunately, nowadays. So if you're listening, love you all. I'm sure my mom and grandma are probably my biggest fans and listeners on here, but hopefully someone other than the two of them are listening. But I'm so excited to see what the Lord does with this. I'm so excited to hear stories from amazing women. I'm so excited for you all to kind of join along and join the ride and watch and see where this goes and how it hopefully grows for the Lord and for truth. But thanks for tuning in this week, and looking forward to seeing you all next Monday. And I have a really great guest from someone who's over in DC, and I'm really excited to have her on. She's been someone that's been inspiring to me, and I'm looking forward to you all meeting her next week. So thanks all for tuning in, and see you next Monday.